dude was getting into his car, and the cop pulled up and like literally was like holding on to him and then started shooting.
Usually I try to do a little fluff. I try to do a little, thank y'all for coming, this, that, and the third, blah, blah, blah. I'm on a whole different tip tonight.
I want to thank you for another week with What's Up, Brody? How you doing?
What do you call a curfew when you locking people down for 24 hours? They encourage businesses not to open.
Let's just go ahead and dive right in. Thank y'all for coming in and kicking it with Kirk. Let's go into it.
There was an incident that I had one time that I actually ended up dumping a girl over a racial profiling incident that happened to me.
You just gotta love people, man. We gotta love each other, and it's time to get close with your family.
But didn't you sign up to protect and serve? Didn't you sign up to serve the community, even if that means, unfortunately, you may not make it home? Isn't that what you signed up for as an officer? Or did you sign up for a cushy job with a check where you could terrorize people?
What do you say to the people who are peacefully protesting and they're being tear gas, bombed, shot rubber bullets at, and being beaten?
We might have chose this life and whatever, but we also chose one of the only fields that is guaranteed to not stop based on any natural disaster.
How long do we stay quiet and don't say anything? How long do we do this for?
Make a complete stop, you take a left turn, and the cop lights come on.
Every single right, basic human right that Black Americans have gotten in this country, we had to fight for it.
We're on vacation. I decided we wanted to go out to Vegas for the weekend, so that's what we did. And the cop's like, well, your license plate says California. Why are you out here?
Best thing that I've learned, hold on to your family.
What up, what up? Thank y'all so much for joining me for another episode of Kicking It with Kirk. I'm your host, Jonathan Kirkland, and thank you so much for being with me tonight. A little bit about myself to anyone who may be new to the show or may be new to the space, or you might just not know who I am. I'm a husband, I'm a father, I'm an actor, I'm a singer. Yes, I was formerly George Washington in Hamilton, the musical in Chicago. And overall, just a thinker, man, a guy that loves this world and wants to try to make it better through the gifts and talents that God has blessed me with. Now that we got that out the way, and forgive me for getting that out the way so quick. Now that we've wrapped that up, this debate last night, y'all know we got to deal with it. Y'all know we got to talk about it. Y'all know we got to go into it. So I have a few things that I want to get to. And yes, I have a special guest. I have a friend of the show who's coming tonight who I'm very excited about, very excited to get in front of you guys. But I have to start with this. The debate itself, I went in with an open mind. I was ready to take notes. I was ready to sit through that thing fully engaged, and I was ready to prepare as much as I could to offer you some awesome content tonight. About 30 minutes into that thing, it was made very clear to me that there was absolutely no way that I was going to get through that thing. It was the most childish, most despicable, most reprehensible and unprofessional presidential debate that I've ever seen. Absolute trash. You got a bully on one side who's trying to, use his bully tactics to do what he does. None of us are shocked. None of us are surprised. We know what this guy does, right? And then on the other side, you have another guy who it appears as though is trying to go about things the right way, trying to do it the right way, but had to succumb to the bully tactics in order to just get a word in order to get his points made. So the first initial irritation I had was simply put that this was the most embarrassing moment, one of the most embarrassing moments that I've had as an American. Now that I'm an adult, we're not children anymore. Those of us who were, on these platforms, some of us have kids. So now that I'm an adult, now that I get it, I'm watching this thing and I'm absolutely embarrassed. I'm absolutely embarrassed to say that, yeah, I'm from America. So next time I'm overseas doing work, next time I'm overseas shooting a film, next time I'm speaking to somebody who's from overseas or whatever the case may be, I'm embarrassed to say, yeah, that's me. Those two guys up there, those two Muppet babies in that top corner arguing about, I think that was the Muppets, right? Are arguing about everything. Yeah, that's my country. So that's the first thing. My second thought, and to dive a little deeper into the context of what that debate was really about from my perspective, my second thought was that this entire country is about systems. Everything is about systems. The first question out the gate was in relation to the Supreme Court. And as Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg has passed away, may she rest in peace, the first question was about whether or not Joe Biden and Donald Trump believe that Donald Trump should have the right in his office and his presidency should have the right to nominate the next candidate. The first thing that hit me was like, wow, this whole nation comes down to systems. And for whatever reason, it hit me so hard because their whole argument in that moment was about, well, I was elected, and per the rules, if I'm elected, it says that I get to do it. I'm not elected for 3.5 years. I'm elected for 4 years. And if you get elected, you'll get a chance. But now it's my turn. And all I could think about was as an example to policing, right? We've been having these arguments about police, and we've been having these arguments: defund, abolish, reform, blah, 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 blah. And every time we get into those debates and in those conversations, you hear a lot of people come from another side and say, well, if Jacob Blake hadn't done anything wrong, and if George Floyd hadn't done anything wrong, then maybe nothing would have happened. You can't come at the police, right? You can't challenge the police, or else bad things will happen. Here's the thing. If you make that statement, if you were to say, well, if you throw a challenge to the police, if you do this, if you do that, then bad things could happen to you. What you're saying is that you're absolutely okay with the system that is currently in place that gives the police the carte blanche to move how they choose and feel to move. That's exactly what you're saying. And I'm not even condemning anyone for that belief. I'm not even condemning you, because we all have been conditioned in this country the same. So I'm not trying to come at anybody. All I'm simply trying to say is that this whole nation comes down to systems. There's a system of policing that we've all been succumbed to where so many of us rational people, intelligent people, smart people would say, well, hey man, you can't challenge the cops. As if it's okay for cops to just go killing people, to just go shooting people with absolutely no accountability. So the systems was the second thing that came up. And another example of these systems that I have a problem with is the Electoral College, to bring it back to the debate space, to the Electoral College. It is ridiculous that in the year 2020, in this great nation, or what a lot of people like to call a great nation of America, that the popular vote doesn't win the election. This ain't the days where freaking California has X amount of people and Wyoming only has a couple. So let's do it in 2020 to where one state gets X amount of Electoral College votes and another state gets Y amount, and let's equal it that way. This is utterly ridiculous, y'all. This system, the issues of this system need to be shut down. Flat out, point blank, period. All these arguments we're having, all these debates we're having, all these things that we're going through, the systems that exist are the issue. The system of policing, the system of the Electoral College, the system of the Supreme Court, and we'll get into that a little later. These systems have to be brought down. All right, next point, and the last point I want to make before bringing in my special guest, one of the last points I want to make, you all heard it. You all saw it, even if you didn't watch the debate. If you're on anybody's social media, if you watch the news, if you watch ESPN, you can try to avoid it at every turn. This man told the Proud Boys, which is a white supremacist group, to stand back and stand by. Not stand down, but to stand back and stand by. Effectively, to wait for your marching orders, because I got you. The president of these United States refused to condemn white supremacy. He tried to avoid it as best he could, and when given the opportunity multiple times, decided to tell a group of white supremacists to stand back and await their marching orders. Now look, this is what we're not going to do, okay? We're not going to cap. We're not going to act like Trump is not the first blatantly racist president that America has seen, but at least other guys tried to hide it. At least other guys tried to speak the language to say that I'm not all out racist. I'm for all people. At least other people tried to hide it. This dude, though, is telling everyone yet again, what he believes, who he is, and what he's here for. So that said, oh, someone said the Proud Boys are not a hate group. Okay. So that said, so that said, when I'll even meet you there to I'm already in the comments to Trump Queen 2020. I'll meet you there. Let's say the Proud Boys are not a hate group. What does that have to do with that man refusing to condemn white supremacy? It's as simple as that. The question is, will you condemn white supremacy? The answer should be, why, yes, I condemn white supremacy. And that boy couldn't even do that. So my next point to all the people who hid behind, well, I voted for Trump in 2016 because I was tired of politics as usual. And I voted for him because I just wanted something new. I just needed a change. The government has let me down. right? For anyone who was making those points and who was saying those things at that time, you could ride behind that. You could get behind that, and that was okay at that time. Now, ain't no hiding behind that no more, y'all. Just call a thing a thing. Call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. At this point, when I'm taking my family, and we were quarantined for a little while back home. I'm from the state of Michigan. We were back home, and we were heading out to a pumpkin patch. Right, it's the fall. We're trying to have a little fun, and I'm seeing these flags and these banners, and I'm talking about bumper stickers. There's such a pride that goes behind President Trump at this point. There's such a pride that goes behind that guy that so many people are so excited about. And y'all, that is such an issue, because at this point, what you're saying is it's not about politics. None of this is about politics. And stop playing. We're not going to cap. Stop acting like this is a political conversation or a political debate, because it's not. This is all about morality. This is all about, I want to be on the side of the oppressor, and I want to keep people oppressed. This is all about, I couldn't care less if there are kids in cages. I couldn't care less if police go out and kill black people. I couldn't care less if Fox News X, Y, in all kind of ways. This conversation and this issue is not about politics. It is a matter of morality. And for anyone who's still trying to stick to this notion to say, well, for me, I'm still voting for fiscal reasons, because what Trump believes lines up with what I believe about money. Or for me, well, I just think he did a decent job with the economy, or I agree with some of his theories on COVID. I'm saying about none of that. And I feel like every person watching this right now, whether you're watching it now live, whether you tune in when it's reposted, every person watching this right now, I feel like deep in your heart, for a fact, this is not about that. This ain't no political debate. That debate last night, I never heard an agenda one time. I never heard a plan one time from either side. I think Biden went in with the intention to try to give an agenda, to try to give out a plan, but it never happened, because that's not what this is about. America has a decision to make on November 3rd, and that decision is, what side do you want to be on? Do you want to be on the side of somebody who wants to be an oppressor, who wants to give a green light to homeland terrorism? Or do you want to be on the side of somebody that says, man, look, let's try to redirect this ship and turn this country into a place where it's equitable, profitable, safe, and where every person can truly pursue their pursuit of happiness? What side do you want to be on? It's as simple as that. So I'm looking in the chat box, and I'm excited to see what some of you guys have to say. That's my opening rant. I could go on for another 40 minutes, but I'm not going to do that, because I do have a very special guest who I want to bring in. And my guest is a very close friend of mine, a friend to the show, Ellie San Diego. Come on in and join us, who is, Ellie is a lot of things. All right. She's a rapper. She's a hip hop artist. She's in the hospitality industry. But what she really is, if we're going to be honest, Ellie is really a political activist. Even if she won't say it, I'll say it on her behalf. This woman is an activist. She's boots on the ground. She's one of the people in the city doing the work that we all need done. Sis, how you doing tonight? Tell the people something about you.
I'm doing okay. First of all, thank you so much for having me on. Once again, I enjoy this. I enjoy this dialogue. I enjoy the people in the chat. I enjoy all of that. So thank you for having me. Like you said, my name is Ellie. I am a mother. I am a hospitality professional. I am a music connoisseur. I'm a hip hop artist, and I enjoy all things creative, but I enjoy all things liberation. So I am very dedicated to the cause. And all of this is important to me. So I'm glad that we're having this conversation today.
Dope. We had a few little technical issues there, but we'll try to troubleshoot through it. We'll get through it. It's all right. So here's the thing, sis. My first question for you is, give me one word. We're gonna play the word game. All right. It's a very heavy time after that nonsense last night. Such a tragic time in this nation. Like, I'm so embarrassed. But to bring some levity to it, but still keep it on topic. So let's play the word game. Give me one word for that debate last night. What the one word you can think of to describe what that event was for you? Oh man, I think Ellie is frozen a little bit. Okay, well, this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna give Ellie a chance to troubleshoot and get to a better spot, so she can get her service together. But as she does that, I'll give you my word. My word was insufferable. That debate, that whole situation was absolutely, utterly insufferable. Watching these men argue with one another and go back and forth and fight each other without ever mentioning an agenda, without ever mentioning a plan, without ever mentioning what we all need to see. Do you know there were actually people last night who came into the door, who came into the debate space ready to listen. There were people who were actually torn. There were voters, there were Americans who went into that space and said, okay, I need to hear a plan. I need to hear what's going on because I'm torn, right? And I respect that. This is the thing, guys. I know oftentimes we see a black man on a camera talking about political stuff and we automatically assume he's a Democrat, he's a liberal, this, he's that. We make all these kind of assumptions and whatever, it is what it is. But here's the thing. There are a lot of people I know who said, man, I'm not voting. There's no dog in this race for me. I can't do it. I can't vote for the lesser of two evils. I can't do it, right? And if I'm being honest with you guys, I absolutely respect that, okay? But here's the thing. After a night like last night, after the things that were said, after hearing what we heard on that debate stage, personally, and respectfully, I'm not sure how any of us can say, yeah, I'm still torn. I'm still torn, man. I'm torn up. I don't know who to vote for. Really? Really, is that really where we are? For anybody who just joined, I want to give you a quick reset. We're talking about the debate last night. That's what we're talking about. So for anybody who just joined, we're chopping it up about the debate that happened last night. I do have a special guest on. She had a few technical issues, but she'll pop right back in a second. So that said, to get to another point, another issue that came to light for me, and another thing that I saw last night was that we are more divided in this nation than we've ever been. And the reason I say that is because we are not, how to say this respectfully, I don't know that any of us are really here. And I'm putting me on this chopping block too, right? This is something I wanted to get to with Ellie, but I'll dive into it now. I don't know how much any of us really want the facts and objective truths. And here's why I say that. There's a great documentary, I actually mentioned it on the last show, on Netflix, called The Social Dilemma. If you haven't seen it, please watch this documentary. Spend that hour plus of your life watching this documentary. The documentary kind of highlights it, but this debate last night took it to a whole new level of reality for me. This nation is so split and divided, more so than we've ever been, certainly in my lifetime. And the reason that's an issue is because we can all choose where we take in our information. We all have the choice to say, well, I like how they spin it on CNN. I like how they spin it on MSNBC. I like how they spin it on Fox News. I like this radio program. I like that radio program. I like Kicking It with Kirk. No, I don't like Kicking It with Kirk. I like Kicking It with TJ, whatever the case may be. And we all have a different opinion and we all have a different spin. And that's fine. CNN, someone said CNN is fake news. That's interesting because a lot of us would say Fox News is fake news. But here's why I'll meet you, Trump Queen 2020. And I thank you for being so active in the chat tonight, Trump Queen. I really appreciate you. Here's why I'll meet you halfway. All the news outlets have to serve a bigger entity, right? All the news outlets have to serve, they have to serve their endorsers. They have to make money. They have to get paid, right? So that's the issue. So what we can't do, if we're going to be honest, I'm all about objective perspective. I'm all about objective truths, okay? Objectively, the truth is that every news outlet has some kind of bias to it. And all these news outlets have such greater bias that it's hard to know what the facts are, what the truths are, and what just the fluff is. So I'll meet you there to say that there are some issues, but what we're not going to do, again, what we're not going to do is just say one side is fake news, but the other side is real. Come on now. Y'all done turned on Fox News and had to turn that thing right off because you can smell the lies coming through the daggone airwaves. We're smarter than that, guys. We're smarter than that. But okay, I think Ellie is back, and I want to honor that. So let's try to get back to Ellie. Let's go ahead and fade my sis back in. Hopefully we were able to troubleshoot and kind of fix those little issues that were going on. So Ellie, now that you're back, what I wanted to ask, let's go back to where we were. So the word I used was insufferable. I think that debate, there came a point, like I said in my little opening rant, I started the night ready to have a good night. I started the night ready to listen. I recorded it. I'm ready to take notes. 20 minutes in, I was like, bro, this is wild. So give me one word for you that would describe what the debate was for you.
So I really appreciate the word insufferable. All I have for you is trash. I'm sorry. I wish that I could do better. That's all I had. Trash. We were literally sitting here and I was like, it was like 3 or 4 minutes in. I was like, oh, so this is what we're going to do tonight. Oh, this is what's going to happen. This is what the night is going to be like. Yeah. So
here's the thing. I think we all, I expected it to get to where it got. I just didn't think it would happen at that level. And I didn't think it would happen so quick. Like I expected, okay, maybe with like 30 minutes left in the debate, it's two old white guys, right? And listen, it's not even, it's not to condemn old people or old white men. I'm not trying to condemn y'all in this moment, but if we're gonna be honest, old men are stubborn guys. Okay, black, white, Hispanic, Jewish, African, Italian, I don't care what you are. If you are old man of that era, chances are you're stubborn. And I shouldn't put y'all in a box, but whatever. Forget the politically correctness tonight, all right? So I expected it to happen, but 5 minutes in, like that wasn't something that I was ready for. So it was certainly a trash situation. And like I said before, I was very embarrassed, man. But so outside of the one word of it, sis, what else can you tell me about your takeaways from it, your feelings from it, or what you left with?
I think that nothing happened that was new, right? Like I knew that this was going to happen. We knew that this man was a white supremacist. We knew that he has not denounced these sides before. We knew that he would kind of overtalk a little bit. We knew that we wouldn't get the truth. There was a conversation with a commentator from an old presidential debate who was like, yeah, it doesn't make sense for this current commentator to, or moderator rather, my apologies, moderator to even try to fact check during the debate because he's not going to be able to do it. His best bet is to literally try to address the lies within the question that he's going to ask because they already knew that he was going to be crazy. If you remember the Hillary Clinton debate, he was hovering around her, speaking over her, and he just took it to another level.
Yeah.
So I didn't expect anything different from what happened, but I don't know, I guess it's wishful thinking, but at the same time, it's like, oh, I know this is going to be a trip. Let's just see how bad it's going to get.
Yeah. Yeah. So let's dive a little deeper then. So give me, I just kind of mentioned, gave a little teaser to what I want us to kind of go into tonight. There are a couple of moments that I do find supremely problematic, even beyond the whole like telling these supremacist groups like not condemning white supremacy. He's had multiple times opportunities to condemn white supremacy in the last 3-4 years. He's never done it, so that's no shock. But there are a couple of things that did stick out that I think deserve some conversation. One being the notion of the Supreme Court justice and what that looks like, and something that I really want you guys to understand. Whenever we hear people say voting for president doesn't matter, only your local elections matter, let this be the greatest example as to why it matters when you vote for the president of the United States. The people who have those judge seats, the people on those benches, number one, these are the people who write the laws of this land. Number two, these are the people who dictate how the laws of this land are executed. Number three, these are the people who put the legislation in place to dictate within each municipality what their rules and regulations have to be, how far they can go as it relates to enforcing these laws. So much of what we go through as a people is directly tied to what happens with the people on those benches. And sis, talk a little about that from your perspective and some of the knowledge you have on it.
Yeah, so you're absolutely right. And the parties are disproportionate on the Supreme Court as it is. And when people think about the presidential debate, it goes back to sometimes what we talk about as far as this political intelligence that we're lacking in our community. It's not just about Biden and Trump. You know what I mean? Like, it's not just about them. If it was just about them, maybe some of us wouldn't vote. But it's so much deeper than that. I think the most important thing is that that Supreme Court seat. So we have Ruth Bader Ginsburg, who just passed away. And she held that seat for a really, really long time. And within that seat, she was able to make a lot of strides. So with that being said, Trump's strategy is to bring people who are in there who are conservative, who are like not liberal at all. They're like all the way to the extreme. They're radical, they're white supremacists, and he's getting them young. So they're going to hold that seat for a mighty long time. That's very problematic because not only will it affect us for the next 5 years or 10 years or 20 years, it's going to affect us for the rest of probably our lives, and then affect our children, because where they start from, they're going to have a difficult time. So they're also talking about adding seats to it, to even add even more of their pick to the Supreme Court if he is elected again. So from my perspective, I would only hope that getting Biden in is not going to stop what's going on in America, right? We're still going to have to get out here and protest. We're going to have to get active and everything. But one thing that Linda Sarsour said that I completely agree with is he's our opponent that we need to fight for to have. He's the one that we need to have in the White House to fight against to get the things that we need. And we have to have a strategy about it that's going to go way beyond what the immediate issues, so to speak, are. We have to kind of think the long game, and we have to strategize.
Yeah, no, I love that. And I think that's such an important point that you bring up, is that, listen, Biden is not the answer, okay? Like none of us who are, as members of the Black community, none of us are saying, okay, we get Joe Biden, woo, that's it, we good, we did it. No, I started the whole show by saying there are systems in place that have to come down. But what I feel very confident in is that if we leave that boy Trump in office, there is no shot of those systems coming down. Because here's the thing, to Ellie's point, the people on the bench that he's putting there, these are lifelong appointments. And I have to do some research for you guys. I'm not sure how it would work if a president comes in to say, well, let's shift that, let's change that. If you can only be president for 4 years per term, then you can only be on that bench for 10 years maximum. You gotta re-up after every 4 or 5 years. Like I don't know how that part would work, but hopefully somebody soon will try to vote that or start that conversation over in
Put
that
DC. On the list with the Electoral College.
Exactly. Throw it on an electoral college list. These people hold those seats. So this election is so vital, man, because it's not all the things we argue about in our communities, all the issues that we have. A lot of that stuff is eradicated by who sits on those benches. So that's a big deal that I think was worth a lot of time. And then another point that I want you to talk on, sis, is and this is something that hit me too. And Ellie and I, of course, we talked a little offline before tonight's episode, and it was interesting that she brought this up, and then I was taking notes on this as the debate was happening last night. Speak to me a little bit about togetherness or divisiveness, right? Like what we're facing as a country as it relates to being so divisive and divided right now.
It's like this. Even after the debate, I don't know if anybody had the stomach to be on social media. Well, everybody had the stomach to be on social media because I saw it. But what I saw that was really, really interesting and really disheartening, I would say, is that it seems like we were even more divided than we have been all this time, even after this debate. And so there's a lot of infighting, and everybody has all of these different ideas of what's right and what should happen. And I feel like at this point, it should be clear to you. I am not happy with the options we have right now. Let me make that very clear. I'm not happy with the options that we have, but I believe it's clear to us what position and what place we need to move in. So I see a lot of people saying, I'm still not voting. I'm still not participating. They're both of the same. They're the same. They're the same. And I would just ask them to consider this. They are not the same. Yes, neither one of them is what we asked for Christmas. However, which one of these gifts are you just going to take and put in your room for a little while until you can get what you actually want? And I think that is Biden. And I think that what's going on here, John, and this is my take on it. I feel like some of us are so disenchanted and so bitter about the choices we continue to get, the lack of movement that we see, because we do get movement, but it's not enough movement. We are still dying at the hands of police. We are still disenfranchised. We're still marginalized group of people. We're still hurting. We're still bleeding. We're still trying to fight for justice for Breonna Taylor. You know what I mean? Like, it's so many issues going on, but I think we get so bitter to the point that we get stubborn and we want to hold our vote and we don't want to participate. And then we double down on it because we don't want to move. And I feel like that is a disservice to what's going on. I think that some people may have that knowing, like, I should probably participate because it's going to do better than harm. But I think that it's this stubborn mentality where it's like, I'm going to double down and I'm not going to participate. I'm going to hold my vote. You guys go ahead and do it because it's not going to work anyway. So I think some people do it because of the lack of understanding, and some people do it because they just don't want to budge.
Yeah, I agree with everything you said, and I think the bigger issue is, or rather the issue to what you said that I want to point out most is that we have been through a lot as a people, and I get that. And I get that look, I was on the fence at one point to say, well, maybe we just don't vote in 2020. Maybe we say, Democrats, y'all have taken our vote for granted. Republicans, y'all have never cared about us. To even think so is wild. Yes, I understand that back in the day, the Republican Party is the one who put in the process to, abolish slavery or whatever. But the parties have completely shifted by then, all right, or from then to now, and y'all know that. So don't try to throw that in here. And I get that we have a decision to make in terms of how we vote and what we do to make a big, bold statement. But what's the statement worth if we don't have a plan? And that's been my whole spiel this whole time. We do not have a legitimate plan yet. And it's hard to unify, give or take 60, 70 million people. All right, that's hard to do. Okay, especially a group of people who are not a monolith, and so far from being monolithic. Even though the world would want you to think all Black Americans are the same, we certainly are not. Okay, so it's very hard to unify that many people. But right now, to me, and I've said it before, and I'll keep saying it, to me, it's a matter of safety. It's simply put, it's a matter of safety. And to what Ellie said earlier, it simply comes down to the things we're fighting for. Who do we have a better chance of our fight coming to pass if that person is in office? We know it's not Trump. We know that. With Biden, we can, and this is the thing. Sometimes you got to play the game. We got to use some of his history against him. We got to use the crime bill against him, right? You want to make up for that crime bill? Put in place X, Y, and Z. Shift this legislation, blah, 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 right? And then Kamala Harris, listen, there's been so much smoke that's come Kamala's way. And if I'm being honest, it's really bugging me and getting on my nerves. I know she's not the topic of tonight's conversation, but a tease. Next week, we definitely gonna get into that, because what we're not gonna do is condemn this Black woman, but give that white man a pass that she's underneath. That's what we're not gonna do. Okay, but we'll get into that next week. So, Ellie, to your point, I think it's so vital, y'all, that we get out of our pride and that we get out of this thought that if we don't vote, that means things will that somehow is going to be better for us. That's to me, I think the writing is on the wall, and it's very clear that is not the case. Okay. And with that said, do you have another statement on that? Go ahead.
Yeah, I want to offer this too. Maybe after this election, we come to an agreement, we organize, and we decide we do hold our vote 4 years from now, if there's a plan. But all of these people talking and saying all of this, they have no plan. We don't have the leverage to not vote yet. We don't have the camaraderie to not vote yet. We don't have the togetherness. We don't have the harmony. We can't even do a blackout, you know what I'm saying, effectively. We have to get to a place where we have the leverage to hold our vote. We don't have that yet. And so back to what you were saying, I'm number one, believe that voting is not going to solve everything. It is not going to solve everything. We still need to be in these streets. The power is with the people. I believe that with all of my heart, but we have to strategize. It's just like with any war. You want the advantage in every capacity that you can, in every area that you can, no matter how small. So that's my way of looking at it.
Yeah, I love that. Let's get to the chat a little bit. Trump Queen has been in here, and Trump Queen is is giving me some interesting comments. Earlier, Trump Queen 2020 had to say, well, stand by isn't hate speech. Trump Queen, come on now, Trump Queen again. But we're not gonna do on this show. Okay, now on another show, on another platform, in another space, you might get away with that. On this show, we're not gonna cap. All right. I understand that for those who support Trump, I understand that that's y'all's boy. Okay. For whatever reason, y'all like the guy. I don't know if if you think that he's a strong person, which I think he's actually one of the weakest people I've ever seen. Right. And I say that because anybody who's ever been in certain communities, people who do all this, and people who got so much to say, and people who try to do these bully tactics are the softest ones when it comes down to it. But that's a whole nother thing. So to make the statement to say, well, to say stand back and stand by isn't hate speech, then what is it? That's my only challenge. If I were to say if I were to say to a group of people who have made it very clear and said to me, hey man, I hate that people group over there, and I told them, well, wait, just hold up for 1 minute, stand by, just stand by. What does stand by mean? Stand by means wait while I give you the instruction to move forward. So that entire group, that militia group, not militia group, I'm sorry, that white supremacist group, all through social media was excited, was ready to go. Like all that was a call to arms for them. And that's a very dangerous and very serious thing. Okay, so I respectfully disagree with you, Trump Queen 2020. That is not hate speech. I think what it is all that Trump has done, which is energize his base, which is full of hatred and racism and bigotry, energize that base to move forward in a way that's very dangerous for the rest of us as minorities. I want to get to some other people in the chat really quick. You guys forgive me, Ellie and I having such a good conversation, but I want to try to honor some of you all's comments. Third party. Somebody mentioned the third party. Okay, listen. Matter of fact, sis, would you like to speak to the notion of whether or not people should vote for a third party in this election?
Yes, okay, I speak to it. So I think I love the idea of a third party. I think that the third party is balanced. I think that we have a two-party system and it should be the three-party system. Even though it's a two-party system, that's what dominates. The third party is always almost a joke all the time. But I would say the same thing about the third party as I would say about not voting. I would say the same thing about the third party as I would say to a lot of these things that don't have the traction or the organizing that needs to happen for it to make an impact. So you can vote for a third party if that's just what you want. I'd rather somebody vote for a third party than not vote at all. But I mean, at the end of the day, what is it going to get us during this election? We all know for a fact that most of us are not voting for a third party. But if, like I said, that can be a conversation after this election. And the conversation needs to start right after this election. It doesn't need to happen 2 years from now when we're about to be in the process of setting up for voting and the election 4 years from now. So, I don't look down on a third party. I'm open to all ideas, but at the same time, let's move with some kind of a strategy, and let's be mindful of the realistic things that are happening right now as we speak.
Absolutely. I'm gonna go a little further than you. Y'all better not vote for no daggone third party in this election. All right. But here's the thing, man. Look, jokes aside, y'all. Listen, man. Okay, jokes aside, I do respect it and I do understand that. Actually, the first person that I heard who actually did this in the 2016 election, I think, was Mark Lamont Hill. If you guys know who he is, check him out. Young brother, I think he's a professor at Morehouse. He's an author, political activist, political commentator, rather. Check out Mark Lamont Hill. I really appreciate and admire his work. And he was on the Breakfast Club, and they were having this back and forth, like, well, you gonna vote for Hillary? You gonna vote for Trump? Who'd you vote for? Who'd you vote for? And Mark had no problem saying, I voted third party. I voted with the Green Party. And they were like, what? Like, why would you like a vote for the Green Party was effectively a vote for Trump? And I can't recall whether or not he disagreed with that. And I respect that decision. To Ellie's point, I respect that decision to say this is a candidate that I feel more comfortable with, and I'm not going to tie myself to a lesser of evils because evil is still in the title. I get that and I respect it, but I just want to caution us, and I just want to highlight that this is an election like we've never seen before. I feel as though this is a very serious turning point in this nation's history. And I think this turning point dictates whether or not we move forward toward the progress that this country on paper says it wants. Really, when you look at the biggest statements that the forefathers of this nation wrote, the biggest statements say something different than the execution, right? So what this country says it wants to be progressive and for all people and inviting, and the Statue of Liberty, come, if you have nowhere else to go, come to us, we'll take care of you. We'll be the land of the forgotten. We'll be the land of the people who are cast away and thrown away. Come to us. If that's who we really want to be, this election is so vital, because that "Make America Great Again," that slogan that dude ran on in 2016, that a lot of his people are still touting today. For them, the last time America was great was 1950 and before. For them, the last time America was great before the Martin Luther Kings and Malcolm X's rose up, right? And by our Rustins and all those cats rose up to start doing the work to shift this nation to what it says it wants to become on paper. So my charge to us is this: again, if you feel as though if you feel as though you can't vote for either candidate, I will respect it, right? I won't necessarily respect it, but respectfully, I'll vehemently disagree because this election, I think, takes us so further forward or so far back. Because here's the thing: in a president's second term, it's all, the gloves are off. It's no holds barred, because there's nothing else. There's I don't have to win another election, so I can
Exactly.
really institute and implement whatever I really want. First time, I'm just giving you a little tease. I'm giving you a little taste. Now, oh God, I got another 4 years to do whatever I really want to do. Go ahead,
Exactly.
sis. Chime in on that. Go ahead.
Oh, so yeah, absolutely. I was just like, amen, in what you were saying, because everything you said was correct. And just to take it further, like when we talk about what's going on right now, I really I don't think people, because things have happened, it's gone from 0 to 100 so fast, that I don't truly understand. I don't truly believe that people truly understand the danger zone that we're in right now. So we don't know exactly how this is going to go, but it is not looking good. It looks very scary, especially if you look at the history of America. If you look at the history of the world, the direction that this is going in does not look good at all. And I don't think people really understand the gravity of what we're facing and what we're up against. Donald Trump is the antithesis of what we should be striving for as a people, as a nation, on a micro and macro level. This is something that can't stand. I'm in the position right now that it's not about arguing whether it's right or wrong to vote. We can have these conversations, but we're in such a small margin that is, hey, do you need help registering? Do you need to do this? Do you need help? Let's get to the polls. But everybody doing all of this, I'm kind of like, in this space, I'm done with the talking. I'm looking ahead. Can't talk to you right now. Can't talk to you right now. After the election, let's have a conversation again. But some people right now, Kirk, they're dead set on what they want to do. Hopefully we can persuade them. But all of these rabbit holes of arguments and these attacks that are going online, it's all a distraction too.
Yeah.
So we have to stay steady, motivated, and kind of come together with like-minded people with ideas, and figuring out how we can support efforts to kind of revolutionize this world in a way that we've never seen before, because we're going to need it.
Sure. So let's dive in there. So let's, as we begin to wrap up this episode and close the show. So let's go further into what we do moving next. What do we do moving forward? I have a whole sheet here of all the facts and figures and all kind of things that was said last night, and all kind of facts that I can give as it relates to what President Trump has done through his 3.5-year term. But whatever, go look those up on your own. All right. At this point, it's about what we're gonna do moving forward. And please forgive me if y'all hear that ding going on. It's the NBA finals are happening, and I got some of the fellas texting me about it, and I don't know how to turn off the freaking sound on my freaking computer. So y'all forgive some of the tech illiterate types like myself. All right. But that said, so let's talk a little bit about what we do as a community moving forward, sis. For me, one thing that I think is very vital, again, in your community, wherever you are, organize. Organize. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care. Listen, man, get over this notion of I'm this kind of black person, they're that kind of black person. Well, I believe in Christianity. Well, I'm a 5%er. Well, I'm in the Nation of Islam. Well, I'm a Hebrew Israelite. Come on, man. Kill that stuff. What we're talking about is the pursuit of happiness, okay? What we're talking about is equity and equality. And what we have to do is, ain't nobody gonna give it to us. Nobody's gonna give us anything. If we've learned anything about American history and being black in this country, ain't nobody giving us nothing. Okay, so we have to organize where we are. As I mentioned before, there's a lot. It's going to be hard to organize 70 million people, 60 or 70 million. Now, I know the census says it's only like 45 or 50 million, but I mean, y'all know we don't be filling that census out all the way. Come on now, let's call it thing a thing. We're gonna be honest. So it's gonna be hard to do, but within your communities, you can organize. You can start to put up the desires of your heart and the things that you want to see happen in your communities. So that's one small thing that we can do. But Ellie, give me some thoughts as to what you think we can do as a people as we move forward.
So I would say it like this. Most of us, a lot of us, especially if we haven't done it before, are not going to be organizing off bad. I think the first thing that each person needs to discover about themselves is, where are they? What can they offer? And what are they good at? Are you good at talking to people? Are you good at mobilizing? Are you good at getting a point across? Are you good at media? And so you take whatever you're good at, you take wherever you are to something that is already in movement. And then you decide, okay, what do I need to learn that I don't know already? Because education is so paramount. Education is so paramount. I'm finding myself trying to get on as many webinars as I can, sitting in on city council meetings, sitting in on police commissioners meetings, listening to the meetings that are the public school meetings, these open forums, so you can kind of understand exactly what's going on. So when the news tells you one thing, you say, that's not right, because I know for myself that this is what's going on. So I think that education is important, discovering who you are and what you can bring to the table, finding like-minded individuals and organizations that could use your help. And then now you can start to kind of organize and develop in your own way if that's something that you're interested in. I will also encourage anybody who's going to get in this fight to understand that the finish line is nowhere near. You will probably be doing this for a very long time, if not the rest of.
Oh man, I think sis froze again a little bit. Darn it. Well, that's right. She was talking good though. She was talking good. And to her point, I think everything she's saying is right on point. So hopefully she'll be able to. Oh, there she is. Go ahead. Finish what you were saying, Ellie. You broke up a little bit. Go ahead.
Okay, yeah. So just where did I leave off? So yeah, just making sure that you know where you belong, where you fit, and then being able to kind of cultivate a movement of your own if that's something that you're interested in, but not being discouraged because there are a lot of different things that we'll disagree on, because fundamentally, we believe in some of the same things, but a lot of times we have a lot of differences, and there's going to be some rough patches, some rough times, but for the love of your people, you get through those things and you handle everything with love and grace. You just have to. There are always going to be issues. There are always going to be agitators. There are always going to be people with attitudes. There are always going to be people who don't want to go the way you want to go, who want to, it's going to be confusion whenever there are people, that's why, like in the church, it's people like that. In the grassroots organizations, it's people like that. You're not going to get away from it as long as there are people. But if you can keep love on the forefront of your mind, if you can find the good and what's going on and understand that it's for a common purpose, you'll be fine. You got to just walk in love. You got to get some tough skin and learn as much as you can.
Yeah, I love that, man. That's a mic drop. That's a mic drop. I think sis said everything. I mean, the only thing I would, I guess, add or maybe try to further clarify, simply put, is that once you know where you fit, find your lane and operate in your lane, but be resilient, be relentless, because this fight is long from over. And essentially and this is another thing that I want to add. Let's make sure that we don't get too comfortable Okay, what I think we saw happen just through our history is that once, I was about to call him President King, but once Dr. King was assassinated, once Malcolm X was assassinated, then we started to see a little traction and a little movement, and things got a little better and a little better and a little better. And a lot of us as Black people, a lot of our parents and for some at this point, grandparents started to get on a little bit, right? A lot of people started to earn a little income and move to the suburbs and do this. Like some of that redlining was then kind of not necessarily abolished, but there was some leeway. There was some added leeway there. Politically, it seemed as though we were starting to make some headway. But what slid under that rug were things like that crime bill. What slid under that rug was for school to prison pipeline. What slid under that rug was just more redlining that we weren't aware of because we didn't have the knowledge to know. So I'm not saying any of that to condemn our parents or our ancestors or anyone who fought those civil rights battles. There's no condemnation there, but we have to learn from the past, y'all. We have to learn from it, and we have to say, okay, what we can't do is get too comfortable. So if I'm hoping when Biden is elected as president, again, please forgive me for all these dings. I know somebody in the chat tried to help me out and say, go to system preferences and do this and do that. I tried, I figured out, man, whatever. So thank y'all for your patience on that tip. But if Biden wins, that's not the end. All that it is another beginning. That's it. It's just another beginning to say, okay, Biden, so this is what we demand of you in your office and your time as president. Biden is not.
You got to make some good trouble. You got to make some good trouble. You got to get out here and make some good trouble. No justice, no peace is exactly what we mean. If we don't get no justice, y'all don't get no peace. And we have to fight, and we have to continue to fight, and we have to move, and we got to make sure that every single area doesn't go unnoticed and untouched. We got to take over every area that we can in this fight because it is going to be very important. You mentioned our ancestors. They fought their, I don't know if I can say asses.
Go ahead.
They fought their asses off and we're still in this position. So with as much work as they did to leave us in a better position, where are we leaving our kids sitting here and not doing what we need to do and fighting day in and day out to make their lives better than what we had when we were here and we were their age? What are we doing?
Well, and then I think it comes back to the notion of it comes back to the notion of what it is to stay in your place and what you're comfortable with, right? Like don't make the mistake of thinking that a little income and a nice little home and a white picket fence that the battle is won, because it's not. And to address something here that Trump Queen said, no peace. Well, don't be mad if the Proud Boys come to make sure there's peace. And therein lies the problem. Therein lies the problem. You
and
said
that's a troll. And
yeah,
so that's a troll. And so we keep it moving.
We keep it moving, but this is an
example.
That's an example, and I think it's important to bring up because here's the difference between what one people group is saying and what another is saying. What Ellie just said, she never mentioned violence. She never mentioned murdering anybody. She never mentioned harming anyone. She said no peace. That does not equate. One thing does not equal another. To say no peace does not mean so we're going to be violent and do this and do that. Black folk in America have never been. Go ahead, sis. Say it again.
No, I was amening you. I said, yeah, I never said that at all.
Listen, Black people in America have never been a people group that has raised up arms to take to the streets and be violent. Never. Even the most quote unquote violent group that history books and that media would try to tell you was violent in the Black Panther Party, they weren't even a violent group. What they did was arm themselves for protection against the violence and homeland terrorism that was coming against them. So again, in this space, whether you were troll or not, usually I don't have a lot of time for trolls, but Trump Queen, you've been saying some decent things a little bit. And I think on this tip, it's necessary sometimes to in love check people, right? To in love, just to check you a little bit for you to understand that nobody on this platform ever spoke of anything violent happening. Nobody said that. So what happens is we have a group of people who are hearing things that are never said. No one ever said we're going to be violent and that. No, we said ain't going to be no peace. So what that means is we're going to stay in them streets. We're going to keep marching. We're going to keep protesting. And if you try to shut that down, we're going to find another way. Because what Black people are is the most creative people that God has ever put on this earth. And we all know that.
And can't nobody troll like us if we want to troll. And so we have to troll in these streets. Listen. We have to troll in these streets. We have to troll our politicians. Listen, We have to troll our gentrifiers and our business as usual people. We have to troll them. You having a $2,000 dinner? Cool. No justice, no peace.
I think Ellie went ahead and dropped the mic on that one. Say it again, sis. Say it again. You broke up a little bit. Say it again.
You were kind of stuck, so I didn't know if I was lost or if you were lost.
No, I was probably, look, whatever. Who knows what it was? But at any rate, thank y'all for coming tonight. Thank y'all for chiming in with us and enjoying the show. Forgive us for some of the technical issues on our side. We apologize for that. But listen, it's a COVID world, all right? It's a COVID world. It's a lot going on, okay? We got kids out here. We're doing the best we can to bring you the content that we feel as though you guys deserve. So if you like what you heard tonight or what you saw, please subscribe to the channel. Please subscribe to the channel because that helps us continue to bring you this stuff. And as we move forward, like I said, a teaser for next week, I'm talking about Joe Biden and Kamala Harris. There's a lot that needs to be debunked. There's a lot of our conditioning that we need to fix as it relates to the president and vice presidential candidate that's coming up. And as weeks go on, I'm gonna try to get my wife to come back in if we can find somebody to watch our kids so I can get wifey back into space. And thank you to Ellie. Thank you to Ellie for coming. Give the people the last word. What you got?
Oh, no, thank you so much for having me, John. Thank you to everybody in the chat, even Trump Girl 2020. I appreciate you all for being here. And yeah, this was great. I hope I come back in the future sometime.
Yeah, man, we definitely gonna have you back. Follow us, give them your Insta handle or whatever social media you want people to follow you on. What's your socials?
Pretty much all things Ellie San Diego. So that's ELLIE and San Diego, traditional spelling, no space.
Like Carmen San Diego, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Listen,
just
that was
like
a great one, by the way.
Listen,
listen, where in the world is she? Where is she at? No one knows. And for me, y'all follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. I started a TikTok account. I don't know if I'm gonna keep that thing. I heard some shaky news about whatever's going on with TikTok. I feel like I've aged past the TikTok world, but I'm on it. Everything is The Real J Kirk. All right, TheRealJ KIRK. All right, so follow me on there. Thank you guys so much, man. We'll be back next week with some more content. And vote, please, please, please vote. This election, bigger than any other election that this nation has faced, it matters in this one more than anything else. All right, and if you don't vote, don't say nothing when the country blows up. Love y'all, man. Y'all have a good night.
That's another next
week. That's it. Peace.
Go ahead and try to get over here to the Patrick Simmons banner right over here.
What's an unban request? People can do that? Am I going? No, I wasn't paying attention. Yeah, unban him. Approved. Approved. How do you do an unban request? That's cool. Oh, it's beautiful. No, Ugly Donk did good. He didn't even do anything wrong. I was just being a little bitch the day I banned him.
Oh my god, I love Plant Rock. If anyone here is for Plant Rock, I love Plant Rock. I love Plant Rock.
I guess I'll go on the other side, but I can't. So we're gonna be back here. It's too hard, but there's a nice little thing for Patrick over there. I don't like free speech level 3 potato, that's right.
All right, y'all, so we're going to get the speeches started right now. So everybody that is on
But I
this
do like
side
it that you said,
of the
I'm
podium,
sorry, I thought
if
this
you're
was
on this
America.
side, please have a seat so that folks in the back can still see what's going on. We got to work with what we got in this kind of a tight space. And if this is your card right here, that's parked right here next to this parking meter, can you please move it?
Good luck on that. If DJ Elrod came on right now, we would be pissed. Level 3 potatoes under the stream. I put it in the descriptions and shit under the channel.
Okay, y'all, so we're gonna get these speeches started. A couple things I just want to say before we start this is if you're trying to have a conversation, this is not the time, this is not the place.
Talk to y'all
All
later.
the people that are going to be up here speaking, you're going to give your undivided attention to, okay, and listen. Deep listening. So, if you want to have a conversation, go over there or go over there. Now, once again, I just want to thank you from the bottom of my heart, everybody who's shown up for this. This is a super special, very important event of the summer. I know it's not summer anymore, but, you know, we're like 120 days in. And it just means a lot to me that so many people are here showing solidarity. So, and just be cautious, you know, if the swoop troop comes through, posts come through, just be mindful, move if you gotta. Obviously, this is not a legal gathering or whatever, so just bear that in mind.
We got this. They won't be here. We got this.
Hey, well, we can say go. So we got this. That's all the confidence I need. Okay, so to start this off, one of my dear friends is gonna come up and set this off. She's one of the most powerful black women I've ever come across in my life. She's been marching with me and Letha, or we've all been marching together since the George Floyd uprising. She's been there pretty much every single Thursday. She is so committed, so determined. She's an incredible organizer, very equitable with how she moves, and I just love her so much, and I just want her to set this off for everybody. All right, so I want y'all to welcome Regina Rage.
You scared me, damn. Repeat after me. Don't. Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Put your fist up. Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in peace, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Rest in power, rest in love, rest in peace, Patrick Kimmins.
Say his name.
Patrick Kimmins.
Say his name.
Patrick Kickin!
What's his name?
Patrick Kickin!
Today, I'm here to honor the life of Patrick Kickin. Black men in our world are stigmatized from the moment they enter it, criminalized because of the color of their skin, for the power that they possess. Patrick was murdered because of white supremacy, because of the anti-blackness that has existed in this country since the beginning of time. The only way that we can prevent future murders like this is by abolishing the police. Nine times. 9 times. 9 times. 9 times. 9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
9 times.
There's no way to justify it. There's no way to make it okay. They believe that they are judge, jury, and executioner. We have to take their power away.
Woo!
I don't want to say another motherfucking name.
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 I don't want to say another motherfucking name. Freeway.
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 To the motherfucking freeway. Freeway. I hit the motherfucking freeway. Freeway. I hit the motherfucking freeway.
Freeway. I hit the motherfucking freeway. Freeway. Freeway.
I don't want to say another motherfucking name.
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 Thank you.
Make some more noise for Regina Reyes. Man, it's been 2 years to this day. We've been out here for Patrick Kimmins, y'all. Every day, we've been out here for Patrick Kimmins. We've been out here for George Floyd. We've been out here for Breonna Taylor. We've been out here for Deon Kay. We've been out here for Sandra Bland. There's so many names. There are so many names. Quantas Hayes, Kendra James. The list is so long that if you were to, when you say say his name, you can almost say which one. There's so many names. And I want y'all to understand that we are not out here just fighting police brutality. That's not the only thing we're out here for. We're fighting against an America that doesn't respect us, that doesn't protect us, that doesn't value us. And what y'all need to understand about what we're dealing with is that this country was not founded with us in mind. Okay, when the Declaration of Independence was signed, in 1776, we were not in mind. We were not at that table. Black people were not at that table. Who was at that table? White men. What is the country currently serving? White men. Is it any surprise what we're dealing with? So when a system is made and designed without you in mind, without considering your well-being, it's inherently going to be against you. Right? And we're seeing that play out right now. If someone could get that, that'd be helpful. Are they okay? Like, damn. So, it's just crazy what we're dealing with in this country. Like, we live in this system that was not designed for us, so we really need to burn this shit down. But it's not just police brutality that we're dealing with. We're dealing with so many different things. The prison industrial complex, the school to prison pipeline, not enough affordable housing, crooked doctors, the hospital system is corrupt as hell, exclusionary laws against trans people and queer people. It's not just police, y'all. It's not just police. But the police is what killed Patrick Kimmons. The police is what killed George Floyd and Breonna Taylor and all the other names. And so that is the most overt thing that we're dealing with right now, is the police force, which is inherently racist and comes from slave catching. 1705, before that, police did not exist. And so now we are dealing with a country that is murdering people like me and you all over the country. People like me and her all over the country. So we need to burn this shit down and create a system that is inclusive of all of us. To start with, we have to start with defunding the fucking police. And when we say defund the police, it is a commitment to refunding the people. That's all that means. And when I say defund the police, a lot of people can get down with that, right? They're like, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Maybe we should divest some of the money that police has. Give it to
Hey, calm down. Go calm. Be calm.
What's going on?
Everybody calm. Everybody stand up slowly, though. Everybody stand up slowly.
Yo, what's going on?
Stand up.
You see what's going on?
We good.
No.
We good. Clap if you're alert. Clap if you're alert. Clap if you're prepared. There we go.
What are we doing? Cops gonna come fuck up a fucking vigil? Is that what's up? Okay.
There's one person running super fast, and then I didn't hear what they said. I heard the motorcycle.
Can't crash a vigil. That's fucked up. Oh, hold on, that's real fucked up, right, chat? Yeah, I don't see no lights. I don't think it's cops.
Alright, we gotta keep going. There's no police, so we're not tripping on anything right now.
What was that about then? No cops team.
Yeah, everything's good. All right, y'all, bring it in. Mic check.
I might say standing just to see.
Mic check.
Mic check.
If you can hear me, clap once. If you can hear me, snap your fingers. Bring your attention back over here, please. Say his name.
Patrick Kickin.
This is what we're here for. We're here for Patrick Kimmins, and we are here to ultimately destroy the system that killed him. And we have to actually not only defund them, but we're going to abolish them. We have to, okay? Reform is out. No more talks about reform. No more fucking reform. Because reform is what killed Patrick Kimmins. The system that we live in right now, we are living in an era of reform. So everybody that's out here as a reformist, understand how foolish that is. That is a fool's game. If reform worked, that shit would have already worked. But reform is what is actually killing people. ICE comes from reform. So when we say abolish the police, we are reimagining community safety. We are imagining a community where a situation like that would not have killed Patrick Kimmins. And when people, you know, it's crazy. I've had so many conversations about abolishing, and people are like, all right, so how the hell are we going to do that? That part. Community care. And just, let me ask you something. Do y'all see any cops in white communities? Are those communities pretty safe?
No.
Those communities are pretty safe. When I look at a white community, I see no cops and an abundance of safety. When I look at black and brown communities, I see a lack of safety and an abundance of cops. Do you see the gap? Are you guys ready to close that fucking gap? We have to close the gap. We have to close the gap. We don't need more cops getting money. We don't need cops, period. We need more counselors. We don't need cops. We need affordable housing. We don't need cops. We need more rec centers. We need to create a community that's actually equitable. And listen, y'all, we are not going to have a community that is equitable without abolishing the police. Because they take $115 billion a year. But we can't solve the student loan crisis. We can't eliminate student loan debt, but we can give the police $115 billion. We can't get all these houses, people in our community, safe housing, enough clothes and food, but we can fund the military-industrial complex. There's so much shit that we have to abolish. It's not just police, y'all. There's so many institutions, but it starts with all of us doing the work. Being anti-racist. Thinking, how can you disrupt the system through anti-racism? Press, white folks, you guys understand this is a Black Lives Matter movement, right? So why the fuck are you guys always in the front? White press, you have a place in this movement, but your place is not at the front. Everybody has a role to play. Understand, press? By not always being in the front, that's an anti-racist action. Think about what your anti-racist actions are and actually go through with them. Because it's going to be anti-racism that protects people like Patrick Kimmins, that's going to preserve life. It's a fucking shame that he lost 3 children. He has 3 kids that are not going to see him grow up. 3 children that don't get to see his daddy anymore because of this system that we live in. You see the problem? We have to destroy this shit. Are y'all ready to destroy this shit? Woo! No cops, no prisons. abolish the fucking police so that we can save black people, so that we can save brown people, so that we can save houseless people, so we can save the poor communities. Because we're all in this shit together. This is the last generation that's going to deal walking through the street with fear. This is the last generation that's going to tolerate racism. This is the last generation that's going to put up with this bullshit, y'all. We have to continue to keep harvesting and harnessing all this energy that we have. Y'all are here now, but I don't know if y'all know, every single Thursday, me, Regina, Kinsey, and a whole bunch of other people are marching with Letha every Thursday. Y'all need to be there. Y'all really need to be there. 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. We need to have crowds this big because understand something. If all of y'all keep coming out every Thursday, there's no way that justice for Patrick Kimmins won't happen. You understand that? If all of y'all start coming out every Thursday and we're shouting and harassing City Hall, harassing these police, they're going to lock those cops up. We're going to get the justice that we deserve. But we have to stay together, stay tight. Y'all have to come out. Will y'all start coming out to these marches at 10 a.m.? Is that a promise? Letha deserves that, y'all. Do y'all think she deserves that? She does. So let's make it happen. Justice for
Patrick Kimmins.
Justice for
Patrick Kimmins.
Justice for
Patrick Kimmins.
Say his name.
Patrick Kimmins.
Scream his name.
Patrick Kimmins. Patrick Kimmins. Patrick Kimmins. Patrick Kimmins.
Justice for
Patrick Kimmins.
Justice for
Patrick Kimmins.
Who they murder?
Patrick Kimmins.
Who they kill?
Patrick Kimmins.
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 Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Now take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Oh, take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Now take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Now take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Now take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace.
They're the Patriot guys.
Fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Now take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice, no peace. Take it to the streets and fuck the police, no justice. Wake up, motherfucker, wake up. 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 Wake up, motherfucker, wake up.
What's up? You guys gonna be in Lane County a lot now or what? I live here.
Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Say it louder. Even louder. Even louder. Even louder. Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Whose lives matter? Say it louder. Even louder. Okay, you guys can have a seat. You guys can have a seat. You guys can have a seat.
When did y'all start thinking that we didn't mean that white lives matter too? We never said white lives didn't matter. We love white lives. We love white lives. No, I'm not. I love white lives. Am I out of control? But you also need to
Yo, can I? Let's go. Let's focus, y'all. Let's focus. Let's focus. Like they don't even exist. Like they don't even exist. It doesn't exist. Yeah. Alright. Alright, we're here for Black Lives. We're not here for them. Right? We're here for Black Lives, right? Okay. So, you guys saw the flyer. We're here to talk about the Elaine massacre. How many of you guys have heard of that before? Okay, a few of you, not surprising. Okay, so I'm gonna tell you guys a little bit about the Elaine massacre. So there was a system. It was called sharecropping. And basically what this was farmers provided landowners with labor for a share of the crops that were produced. But
fuck Gina. Hey, can you just take a second to listen? That's all I'm asking. Just listen to some good information.
You're all good, bro. Fuck these guys, man.
Are we good? Can I continue? We're good? Okay, so yeah, basically what this was farmers provided landowners with labor for a share of the crops that were produced. So the landowners were obviously white men, and the other people were obviously black people. And the landowners started taking advantage of these people. And so, basically, what they were doing was basically legal slavery. They were keeping black people in debt, like indentured servitude, just on and on. So, like, if you were black and you raised like $500 worth of cotton, they'd use like $700 worth of supplies, and so you'd go into debt continually, which is legal slavery. So basically, they just kept black people in slavery over and over and over after slavery was already discontinued.
You are enemies of the state, and you will be treated like as such soon.
Okay, so in 1918, a black man from Arkansas.
I got plenty of money myself. I don't really care about this. You guys interrupt us when we do our thing. We'll interrupt you when you do your thing. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. And if you don't like it, go somewhere else and fucking do your shit. Yeah, go somewhere else and do your shit. Because we're not gonna sit here and listen to this fucking crap.
And prove to him, like, it basically said your boss can't fire you without consulting the union first. So he's trying to create a union for black people.
Want to say one color is more
why he
important
did
than
that,
another
that was
color.
obviously very dangerous because white people were like, well, what the fuck?
We're all
we don't
children
like that you
of
guys are trying to
God,
have some
no
type
matter
of
what
legal
color we
rights.
are.
So they fought against that.
Threatening girls that you're gonna annihilate them is not very godly.
You know what? In war, there is no gender, there is no age.
That's not very godly.
There is no age. You know what?
Okay.
God doesn't have a problem. God gave us the rights that we have in this country, girl. God has no problem when we kill the enemy of our country. You think wearing a cross can save your
What that means is this ring was made up of World veterans.
No, my bullets don't see the fucking cross. My bullets see
so
the
the plan
enemy.
that they had was to sue these basically plantation owners
Don't be scared of me, I'm nobody.
and also sue them for creating false numbers.
Excuse me, the old man.
Are you the guy who hit a protester in the head with the flagpole?
I never hit anybody with a flagpole.
It was on the news. That's how
I don't give a fuck what you say, dude. I never hit nobody with a fucking stick. So go fuck yourself.
Alright, that's on his ass.
So
Ask. I gave you an answer. So go fuck yourself.
Six black people watching with guns. They had like shotguns and rifles because obviously they knew what they were doing was dangerous. And what happened at that time is that these two white men rolled up on them and they start talking and yelling at them like, you guys need to get out of here, and then shots get fired. No one actually knows who shot first, but does it really matter? No, not really. So shots get fired and a white man dies. So once this white man dies, basically what happens is this guy goes back and tells his whole entire town that black people are planning an uprising. Like we're gonna go out there and start killing everyone and take over the town. Sounds pretty familiar to me. So this basically created like a war to break out between these people after one white man was killed.
You're number 3 on my list now.
So
why don't you make me number 1? Fuck it, 3 is the best.
Yeah, so the landowners, they didn't want their sharecropping to be scrutinized. So basically they just went around telling everyone that the town was under attack and that blacks were killing people, which obviously wasn't true. This caused black houses to start getting attacked. Black people started getting murdered. They started burning down schools, burning down black churches and stuff like that in the town because they were quote unquote afraid that black people were gonna come and try to kill all of them. So all the women and the children had to hide in the woods, and all the black veterans and other African Americans took up arms. I'm muffled.
Okay.
What's up, James Madison? Good to see you in here. We got a legend in here. What's up, Maskilla?
It's our board house tomorrow, right?
Yeah. Thank you.
What's up, my life?
Work that overtime. Just work whatever scraps of the soul you have left.
Yeah, gonna make that quite a big truck. Can you go home and feed your wife?
Right in the thick of it, guys. So right now it's just a standoff. But you guys have seen this before. It's all fun and games until someone throws a water bottle. Hey, thanks, Jay Madison. You didn't have to do that, James Madison, but I appreciate you. We got a whole group of cops coming from the distance. Check it out. Check it out.
We went on a rampage to murder all of you.
See that? Look at that. They're coming. They're marching in formation. Second column. Yeah, thanks again there, James Madison. You guys don't have to super chat. I'm self-funded, but if you do super chat, I'll put it to good use. I never ask. So yeah, we have they're 2 layers thick now. 2 layers thick, and if it gets really out of hand, they'll probably call in reinforcements from the surrounding areas. I'm gonna go to the end of the street and show you how they.
And so out of the people that were.
The more we do this, the more noise we make, the more ripples we create, the more we bring to this, the more resources we get to black mothers, right? The more protection we get for black men, right? Because this is how it works. I know it's really difficult to be in this together, and then witness how others aren't here, right? But I don't think it will serve us if we give our energy to them, right? I often feel this also with the police. It's so easy to give it to them because they're poking and prodding to us, right? But I think the best thing we can do is create these systems. Mutual aid, protection for one another. We're watching, we're looking out. We're not looking at you. We're not watching for you. We're watching for each other. We're looking at each other. We're making sure everyone is there that needs to be there. And then they'll be coming, and they'll come crawling because they realize they can't do this without us, but we can do this without them. We can do this without them. We have to do this without them. We have to create sustainability in our Black community, in our marginalized communities. We need to be able to be sustainable for ourselves. Sovereign, away from the system that deprivates, destructs, kills. And the only way I have seen works just in the matter of the 3 months of this summer is turning to each other and asking, what do you need? How can I help you? Who isn't here? What voices are we not listening to still? Who needs resources? Who needs protection? That's all. Black women, Black children, our disabled loved ones, those who have chosen to identify deeper within themselves and not operate on the binary. Yeah, them too. And if you haven't learned that, if you don't know what that is, I hope we make a space where you can develop thought around it and maybe navigate it for yourself. Maybe these are identities you don't even know you have because you haven't had the space to understand that. I'm doing this for you too. For the opportunity that you might know better about yourself, for the opportunity that you might get to identify deeper with what it means to be a human in your vessel, in your experience. Because it's never been that way. It's never fostered that part of us. It's not about our prosperity or our radical self-expression. It's about the deprivation of that. It's about silencing, and I refuse to do that. I refuse to be silent. I refuse to let you be silenced. So let us use this. Let us use this as momentum. Let us continue because we're about to hit a Portland winter. And it's difficult, right? When we don't get vitamin D, it's a bit difficult. And I think this season, more than any season I've had here, sounds like it's even going to be a bit more difficult. So let us use this momentum. Let us continue to help each other. Let us continue to ask each other what we need. Because we cannot do this alone, and we shouldn't. We can. We've all survived somehow, especially our Black and brown humans. Somehow we've still made it. We're still here. We're still speaking. We're still fighting. So yes, we can do this alone, but why should we? We deserve to turn around and know people are watching out for us. We deserve to know that people are saying our names before we're dead. That people are checking on us before we're gone. Right? It's so important. So yes, let's gather. We need to gather and do this. But every moment that we spend here, I hope that we are also making sure we're doing everything we can to protect the Black and brown humans right here, away from us, the ones we cannot see, so that we can preserve their life. I am here for the preservation of life. Across the board. I'm here for the children. I'm here for Black mothers. Right now, I am here for Patrick Kimmons. May I be an embodiment of him May I continue to fight with everything that I am to prevent this from occurring. May I continue to fight to bring the words of Letha as far as they can so we get the justice this deserves. We will march, we will march, we will march, we will fight, we will fight, we will fight, we will scream, we will scream, and we will keep going and going. 10 toes to the pavement. 10 toes to the pavement. 10 toes to the pavement.
10 toes to the pavement.
10 toes to the pavement.
10 toes to the pavement.
10 toes to the pavement.
10 toes to the pavement.
10 toes to the pavement.
Toes to the pavement.
10 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 toes to the pavement.
Very much love, y'all. Thank you.
Love Kenzie. Y'all make some more noise for Kenzie. Okay, so the next speaker that we have is my homegirl. Man, she is so loud and so black and so just fiery, man. Like, I love her so much. But let's come up here and share some words, please, with the crowd.
Hi guys.
Hey.
So, I'm up here. I'm 16, turning 17 in December. Sagittarius season. Yeah. Anyways, I wanted to let you know a Black Lives Matter sign in your lawn is the bare minimum. Coming to one protest and posting it on your Instagram story is the bare fucking minimum. From your 9-to-5 job with your mask on thinking, Black Lives Matter is happening, but it doesn't really affect me, and not helping change the fucking policy that is happening in our fucking system is the bare fucking minimum. If you don't think about black and brown children every morning when you wake up, you are doing the bare fucking minimum. If you are not constantly thinking, how can I help her? How can I create opportunities for these children? You are doing the bare fucking minimum. And people like you disgust me. I wake up every day and I work my ass off because it makes every racist teacher in that building feel horrible that a black woman is succeeding. They hate to see me strive. I'm here because he can't be here right now. I'm doing this for him. Woo! Fuck everything else. This Black Lives Matter movement isn't about me. It's about Patrick Kimmins. It's about all the lives we've lost. It's about all of the babies. It's about the mothers. It's about the fathers. It's about their fucking children. This isn't about me. I work so fucking hard so nobody else has to worry about waking up and going outside. Get rid of this fucking police system. If I'm in danger, you think I'm gonna call the police?
Hell no.
I'd rather call the fucking fire department. Get rid of this nasty system that is tearing black individuals down, that is stripping them of their fucking life, that is taking them off of this fucking planet. I fear going outside. I fear leaving my dad's side because me as a light-skinned woman could protect him. I fear that he'll get pulled over and a cop
No.
Are you not doing the bare minimum? I want you to ask yourself that every fucking night. Are you doing the bare minimum to help black people? Are you supporting me in every way possible? Because I'm tired of walking into white spaces and telling them, hey, you're like kind of racist. Like you're not doing anything to help black people. Do you understand that's the bare minimum? Just being consciously aware that it's happening is the bare fucking minimum. I'm consciously aware that a lot of things are happening, and I understand, lately, you're doing the bare minimum. Sometimes I have to protest because I realize wars are going on in other countries, and children and mothers and fathers are starving. This Black Lives Matter movement isn't just about me. It's about children all over the world who don't have a home. Children who are starving. This is about the bodies that we have lost and the bodies that we are gonna continue to lose in this fucking movement. Are you doing the bare minimum when you wake up in the morning? Probably. So what are you gonna do to change that? You're gonna help us get rid of this fucking police system. Stop killing me. Stop killing me every chance you get, every breath that I take. That's a fucking victory nowadays. Having my voice by the end of tonight will be a victory because that means that I did something. I mean, not really. Y'all get the point. I'm trying so hard not to knock these candles. Oh my God. I want you to realize that just putting a sign in your lawn isn't saving my life. Those white women out there, and I know you can fucking hear me, y'all are doing the bare fucking minimum. You saw me and you waved. Does that white privilege feel good? And now I am going to portion. Thank you guys.
I know they heard that. Yo, make some more noise for her, please. Mac Smith, are you out there, family? Yes, sir. So, y'all, if you don't know who Mac Smith is, you better ask somebody. Mac is one of the most pivotal voices in this entire Black Lives Matter movement. Not just that, but just in this entire city, in the world. This is a pillar of power. And y'all are blessed to be able to hear him share some words with y'all. So please make some noise for my good friend, Mac Smith.
I don't know if I deserve all that. Thank you, guys. Thank you. For 4 months now, right? It's been almost 4 months now?
Yep.
I'm still here to talk about defunding the police. The first up. Rest in peace, Pat Pat. Rest in peace, Pat Pat. Rest in peace, Pat Pat.
Rest in peace, Pat Pat.
Rest in peace, Pat Pat.
Rest in peace, Pat Pat.
Rest in peace, Pat Pat.
Rest in peace, Pat Pat.
We lose a lot of people. Lisa's here tonight. Her son was lost. I can't fathom that. I have 2 sons, 18 and 17. Just dropped one of them off at U of O to start on a full ride scholarship as a duck. He was out here helping with the protest when we started. I told me to chill because we was getting arrested and he got to go to college. Can't risk it all. I don't know what I would do if I lost one of my children. I have 4 children. I have a daughter that's 14, I have a daughter that's 2.5. These pigs took one of my kids, I don't know what I would do. I can't even fathom to imagine the person I would become if I were to lose my child at the hands of a police officer in Portland, Oregon. I can't even discuss the depths of hate and hell that I would go through in my mind and the action that I might take if my child were harmed by one of these pigs. So I want to respect and show respect for Letha and the strength that she carries. Sometimes she says words and I'm like, wow, that feels strong, but man, when I think about how I would talk, or if I would talk, because I don't think I would have a word to say. It's ridiculous that dropping off my son in Eugene, we have to flinch and feel our hearts drop into our stomachs every time a police car pulls behind us. Every time a sheriff's vehicle or a federal officer or a pickup truck with a bunch of flags that don't make any sense pull up next to us. When I see a red lives, green lives, and a blue lives flag on a pickup truck and it's pulling up next to me, watching me, slowing up, throwing cigarettes out the car window at us, what do I do? What do I do? Do I complain? Do I tell somebody so they can tell me I'm being paranoid? Do I stop and pull over and start a fight with this person? Do I just ignore it and hope they don't shoot me in the back? Or do we just pray that I can get to my destination without an altercation that I never wanted in the first place? When I'm over going to this grocery store and I gotta wait in line because we can only go in 2 at a time now, and a pickup truck drives by and yells something out the car, and I don't know what he said, and the woman standing in front of me in line and I both look at the pickup as it drives by, and he throws a can out the window, and we wonder, wow, was he a racist or a sexist? What kind of chud was he? This ain't right. This ain't how we're supposed to live. This is supposed to be America. This is supposed to be the land of the free, but it didn't apply to us. It's supposed to be the home of the brave, but it only applied to us. How is that? How is that? Why are we living brave every day out here with shields and helmets, no weapons, and the other side is out here armed to the teeth, no defense? And we have the strength and the courage to stay on defense. People always say that being on offense is where the intelligence is. That's where you're aggressive. That's not always true. We have to defend our principles and our virtues and our values and our morals. And so we have to defend ourselves, because what we are doing is standing on principle. They don't understand that. They don't understand standing on your square, staying on your Sirat al-Mustaqim, your straight path. And you see money on one side and opportunity on the other. And they just want to pull you off the path. You want to defund the police, or do you want this $62 million we can just pump into the black community, but you'll still have cops? What do you want?
Number one.
What do you want? Do you want to defund the police, or do you want to spend a little bit more money so we can get police oversight and nurses that can roll out with them? What do you want? What do you want? We've been asking them to defund these police since May. Since May. I got off my sofa in May. I was just planting potato gardens because I thought the pandemic was going to kill all y'all. And I was about to have food in my yard. But Janessa called me and she's like, yo, I need you out here for security. So we came out there to help. And I met you guys. A lot of y'all I didn't know before this. I knew Jedi. I knew some of y'all before this. I didn't know most of y'all before this, but now I feel like I know all of you. And we were sticking with this together. Since we was out there in the thousands walking around, and we was down here in the hundreds walking around, then we was down here in the thousands walking around because the feds came, now we back here in the hundreds walking around, then we was in the dozens getting pipe bombs thrown at us and shit, and now we back down here in the hundreds again. Some of us been here every night. Some of us seeing the bullet shots. Some of us seeing the bombs go off. Some of us been gassed. My homeboy who was stunned and got knocked out. Like, it's crazy out here. We have been through some things. I was dragged off the street by people I still don't know who it was when I got shot in the head. Y'all dragged me out. I want to say thank you. I don't know who you were, but thank you to the strangers that do kindness to the other strangers around us. What do they call that? They don't even have a word for that in this English language. What do you call that? When you don't know someone, but you know that you love them, so you take care of them. What do you call that? Is there a word for that in the English language? Is there a word for that in this culture, and why not? Why haven't we needed one? We have to think about the language that we use because it's the language of the oppressor. The language is built to keep us from understanding and unlocking the future that we hold within us. And if you don't understand that, you're not paying attention. We're not out here every day just to fucking fuck shit up. We can fuck shit up. But we're not out here just to fuck shit up. We're out here to change our hearts and souls and to galvanize ourselves and make ourselves stronger and make those around us understand so they can also latch on and do this the right way to be. Culture. We create culture by doing the right thing. People see what we do. And then they copy it because it's easy and it makes life right. That is what culture is. If we can't argue about it, if we can't talk about it, if we have to cancel each other every time we disagree, we're never going to get there. I don't want to sound like all these people who got found. I'm not going to go to Canada because you niggas won't figure it out. This shit's not that hard. We have to stay the course, stay together, stay tight, figure it out. Figure out a way to resolve your disputes that does not involve cutting all your friends off and going home. Cut that shit out. We have to stay here in numbers. We cannot cut ourselves apart with the bullshit. Yes, there are problems. Yes, there are abusers. Yes, there are victims. Yes, we all need to talk about it. But we cannot hide behind it and send ourselves home and send each other home when we have a mission to accomplish. If these cops do not go home, many of us will be in danger. You saw what happened in Ferguson. I've been saying it for months. They killed all them niggas. They're all dead. The dude with the meme that threw the first gas canister, dead. Dead. I don't want to die. I have a 2-year-old to raise. Defund these fucking police.
R.I.P. Pat Pat.
R.I.P. Pat Pat.
R.I.P. Pat Pat.
Power to the people. God bless.
Power to the people.
More noise for Patrick Hughes and Max Smith, y'all. You know, something that he just said really, I've been thinking a lot about Audre Lorde when she said, you can't dismantle the master's house with the master's tools. And I've been really thinking about what that means. And I'm realizing this revolution, this movement right now, we are slowly dismantling the master's tools, and we're starting to use the people's tools. Because the master's tools are cancel culture. The master's tools are division. The master's tools are hate. The master's tools are the police. The master's tools are cultures of non-accountability, not listening, not practicing deep listening. These are the master's tools. And we will not find liberation with the master's tools, but we will find liberation with deep listening, with accountability, with call-ins, with looking out for one another, with mutual aid, with loving each other at the end of the day. Understand what the master's tools are, and understand what the people's tools are. When we continue to tap into the people's tools, liberation is going to come to us quicker. And believe, it is on its way. Liberation is on its way for everybody. But we have to use the people's tools. All power to the people. All right, y'all, so some of Letha's family is here to speak, and this person's name is Yaya. Please make some noise for Yaya.
Woo!
Thank you guys. I want to give thanks to our Holy Father in the height for bringing us together in peace and allowing us to do this tonight. My name is Demetrius, that's my real name. Go by Yaya out here. I'm from Portland. I got a lot of family from out here. My family been dealing with this for a long time, even before I was born. A lot of stuff that transpired the year I was born. Some things transpired before that. I am here, just to promote peace and prosperity, to seek righteousness, to smile, to be happy and joyful, to sing and to dance, but also to fight against injustices and police brutalities. We got to continue to stand together. We got to have hope. We got to hold on to it. We got to keep faith. And we got to just have a righteous intent within our heart. Righteous imaginations also, so that our holy Abba, Elohim, in the height, Most High, Sabbath, blessed be He forevermore, can manifest our righteous imaginations. If we can imagine something righteous within ourselves and then meditate on that, something pleasing to Him. I myself am a present-day victim of police injustices. I got injured by the police in June. They crashing into the back of my car and slamming me down on my behind from the back of my collar, fractured my tailbone or something like that. The medical reports show. In addition to that, there was some issues with the federal agents in July. They nearly blew my car up, and I'm not trying to be funny or anything. If that flashbang would have went up underneath my car, could have caused some serious damage, but it landed in front of my car, and so it blew out my windshield, and a piece of glass ended up in my passenger's eye. Took her to Emmanuel. They found it. She's going through treatment for that right now. I'm still in treatment. These guys never leave me alone. They like to catch me like when nobody's here, because with me, it's TDMC, and that means the demonstration must continue. So, when our people are resting, and when all y'all are resting, and I know y'all are away somewhere safe, I'm out here doing my solo thing. And they like to inflict harm upon me. But, I'm going to continue to stand on the 2 feet that my Holy Father gave me. Blessed be He. And I love every single one of y'all. I stand with every single one of y'all individually. I will fight for any form of righteousness with every human being. And I love y'all. And I like seeing y'all smile. And I like us being together like this because I believe that it pleases the Lord. Thank you, big cousin, elder cousin, Letha, for this opportunity to give thanks to our holy Abba Elohim in the height, living Elohim of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the Holy One of Israel. Blessed be He forevermore. Blessed be ye, only begotten Son of unbegotten Father. Blessed be He, almighty, everlasting, outlasting, everlasting, outlasting eternity, infinitely immaculate, ever expanding, Father of lights, giver of life, Jesus Christ. Blessed be ye, blessed be the Holy Trinity, unbegotten Father, the one begotten Son, Jesus Christ, and our Mother, the Holy and Divine Omnipotent Spirit of Truth. Blessed be the Holy Trinity, outlasting eternity. Amen. In Jesus' name.
Graduated at Yeah. And they're like freedom of speech, freedom of